Greetings to everyone out there and welcome back to Around the Clock. And yes, as you can see in the title, Nintendo is losing money. Now, before we get things started, I have to inform you that this is the last week for our Best Buy Black History Month affiliate program. Down in the description box, there's a link titled Best Buy Black History Month. When you click on that link, it'll take you to Best Buy's official webpage. What's great about this affiliate program is that you don't even have to buy anything to show your support. Every time you click on that link, I will receive a commission of 42 cents, which goes to supporting this channel so that very soon I can host live streams, have giveaways, and do a lot of things for this channel that I've been planning for a very long time. So please, click away at those links because every single click helps out the channel in a major way. Alright, let's get into the news that we have for this video. Earlier this month, Nintendo released their financial report for this past fiscal year and it was incredible. The big highlight of this report was Nintendo reaching their 100 million units sold for the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo is well on the way to having the Switch being the best-selling Nintendo console of all time and possibly the best-selling console of all time. Now, over this past weekend, the full summary of this financial report was released to the public, and within this report, Nintendo Global President Shuntaro Furukawa explained that because of the semiconductor chip shortage as well as other components that make up the Switch, this has made an impact on their gross profit over this past financial year. Now, we've talked about the semiconductor chip shortage on this channel multiple times and how this affects our everyday lives because this small chip is literally in everything that we own, from TVs to vehicles and most importantly medical devices. So it's no surprise that with this being a global shortage that Nintendo is taking a hit as well. With that being said, let's take a look at two questions that Shuntaro Furukawa answered during this financial report. As you can see here, I'd like to hear about the production and sales situation for Nintendo Switch hardware. You could say that the shipment volume for the third quarter, which is October through December, was large, but I get a sense that the shipments to the US were a little weak. Was that because of logistical delays? Also, looking at the trend of component procurement toward next fiscal year, do you see any change from the situation to date? And here's Furukawa's answer. Regarding the production and sales of Nintendo Switch hardware, we were able to produce enough hardware to meet demand through the first half, April through September. And stores had inventory throughout the world, but in the months following October, which includes the holiday season when sales were at their highest level, the situation varied in different regions. In Japan and Europe, there were temporary scarcities of Nintendo Switch OLED model, but in general, for the Nintendo Switch family overall, we were able to produce and supply enough hardware to meet demand. On the other hand, in the US, shortages continued from the third week of November, which is Thanksgiving, and onward. In December, we were not able to meet all of the demand and the situation has continued through the beginning of the year. Since the start of this fiscal year, we have said that the outlook is uncertain due to the shortages of semiconductors and other components. We have not seen signs of any major changes since we entered 2022, so the situation remains the same. The fact that we were able to sell hardware during the holiday season at the same level as the previous year under these circumstances was thanks in large part to the support of our partner companies, and I would like to express my deep gratitude to them for this. Going forward, we will work to manufacture as much hardware as possible to satisfy demand. Alright, so as you can see here, Shuntaro Furukawa made it clear that they did take a hit as far as manufacturing Switch hardware during this past fiscal year, and that they weren't able to meet demand in all other regions around the world, especially with the Nintendo Switch OLED model. But thanks to their partner companies, they were able to manufacture as much Switch consoles as they could. Now, let's finish things off here with this final Q&A. I have a question about the hardware manufacturing costs. It appears that costs are rising slightly due to the current semiconductor shortage, but what degree of impact does that have on gross profit? Also, going forward, will you increase production volume to secure the required volume of hardware even if costs rise? Or do you decide production volume while taking costs into account to a certain degree? And Furukawa answers with this. Nintendo Switch was launched several years ago and we have continued to work to reduce costs, but the recent component shortages are leading to increased costs. And even though the rise is gradual, it has been impacting our gross profit. Looking at the full year, we anticipate that impact to be minor this fiscal year, but if costs continue at current levels through next fiscal year as well, then we would expect hardware profitability to decrease correspondingly compared to this fiscal year. In addition, as has already been mentioned, Nintendo Switch OLED model has a lower profit margin than Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite. Unless the situation changes dramatically, we do not foresee profitability improving next fiscal year and beyond. That said, these cost increases do not affect our production plans, and we will continue to produce the volume required to meet demand. So with this, Shuntaro Furukawa is making it clear that yes, we are losing a bit of gross profit due to the semiconductor chip shortage, and we don't see this changing anytime soon, but Nintendo will try their best to meet their hardware production demands. So hopefully they can do this, but if they don't have the components to make up the Switch consoles, there's nothing they can do about that. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this video. What are your thoughts on everything that was discussed here? Please let me know down in the comment section. And please, take a second to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Plus, if you want to support this channel financially, become a member by hitting that join button right below this video. The cost is less than $1 a month and perks are included. And as always, remember to keep it locked here to Around the Clock, where here, we focus on Nintendo news content around the clock. I'll catch you guys in the next one.